Hey guys, sorry I look so rough. I just got home from having my EEG and my MRI. So I thought I would explain what it's like to actually go through one of those procedures for those of you who have never had them. And for those of you who have had them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So my check-in was at 8. We started the test right before 8:30. I was out by 9:05. And they basically they mark your head where the electrodes go, and then the nurse stuck like this gooey type of ointment on my head so that the electrodes would stick to my head. And she also put 2 electrodes on my chest to monitor my heart rate during the test. And instead of laying in a hospital bed like I used to do when I was younger at the other hospital I went to, because this is a completely different hospital, she just reclined me back in a chair and cut the lights off, and I had to keep my eyes closed, and she asked me, my date of birth, my full name, where I'm at, and then she would ask me to open my eyes, keep them open, and then shut them. And she wanted me to try and fall asleep. I'm a stomach sleeper and fetal position side sleeper, so I cannot fall asleep reclined back like that, and I tried so hard, but I just couldn't. Plus, I had anxiety because of the test, because who wants to have a bunch of tests ran on them and be at a hospital, especially on a Monday that early. So she asked me, do you feel like you could take a nap? Do you feel like you're tired? And I was like, I feel like I'm tired, but I'm not going to be able to fall asleep like this, because I heard everybody in the hallway, doing their jobs, walking around, slamming doors, shutting all this equipment, and just making a bunch of noise. So she went ahead and administered the strobe light test, and basically you just keep your eyes shut, and there's a light like this close to your face, and it flashes a bunch of different types of lights, and you see kind of like shapes while it's flashing, and it only flashes for about 5 seconds. When the test first started, I felt okay, and then towards the end of it, the lights kind of made me feel weird. And they didn't make me feel like I was going to seize. They just kind of made me feel anxious. And after that, I felt anxious until, she cut the light back on and said, hey, you can sit up. You're okay. So after that, she took all the electrodes off, wet a warm rag, and started scrubbing as much as she could off of my hair. And it's so crusty and disgusting. And I cannot wait to take a shower. So that's the end of the test. It took about 45 minutes, not even really an hour. It was pretty quick. It was just, I have anxiety, so the whole time I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to be done with this. I don't like this at all. So that's that. EEG, pretty quick, pretty simple. And then I walked down to radiology for my MRI. I had to fill out some paperwork. They ask, if I'm having any headaches, pain anywhere, if I've ever had an MRI before, all that good stuff. And of course I have, but this MRI was different because MRIs generally take 35 to 45 minutes depending on what they want to do. And I sat in the tube, the tunnel, for about 35 minutes, and then he brought me back out and he injected me with the dye, my nice little tattoo. And the needle stick didn't hurt. I do fairly well with needle sticks, but yeah, having dye in your body, that kind of weirded me out. But the MRI, basically, my advice to you, even if you're not claustrophobic, I would keep my eyes shut the whole time. I kind of peeked while I was in there, and I kind of started breathing really heavy because it's scary. You have your head in a vice type thing with earmuffs on because it's so loud, and then they put a football type of helmet, cage looking thing over you, and then you're just slid right into the tunnel. And in that tunnel, that's where all the magnets are making all this loud noise, taking pictures of your brain. And at my nursing school, when we learned about MRIs, we learned that they're very loud, and that, when you hear it making the noise, that's the magnets clinking together to take the pictures of your brain. And I asked the tech, what's the purpose of the loud noises? And they're different noises. And he said that those different noises make your brain react differently, so they can see it, light up and do whatever your brain does. So I found that very interesting. We didn't learn that at nursing school. We just learned that MRIs were loud, and anyone like myself who has had one can tell you that they're loud. So yeah, it lasted about 45 minutes. He was very nice. He tried his best to keep me calm because he knew I had test anxiety. I mean, you don't want to be in a tube. It's scary, and it's your brain, and I just really hope that at my follow-up appointment, which is scheduled February 5th at 9:15 a.m., that they diagnose me with epilepsy, whatever they diagnose me with. I just want to get on medication and prevent seizures from happening for the rest of my life, because they're scary, they're embarrassing, and they're life-altering, because for 6 months I can't drive, and, I'm trying to work around that. I do have my interview today at 3:30, so my dad's going to be picking me up to take me there. I'm going to take a shower, get my clothes ready, get my hair done, and hopefully I will get this job and I can start working to pay my bills. Speaking of bills, before we went to take my EEG, my parents were with me, the lady asked, what's your method of payment? And I was like, well, how much is it? And she said $300 some, and I was like, we're definitely not paying that today, because guess who's not working right now? So, yeah, I definitely really need a job now so that I can start paying all these bills that have come upon me due to my medical issue. And I'm trying not to stress about it, because obviously that does nothing good for you, especially if my seizures are triggered by anxiety and stress. So I just keep trying to tell myself everything's going to work out. Everything will be fine. I'm going to make it. The man above doesn't give you anything that you can't handle or conquer. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great rest of your week. And my nursing vlog for my new class 203 will be out like the third week of February. So I'm out. I'm going to go take a shower and get all this gunk out of my hair. I will talk to you guys soon.